I'm just coming up to Hyde Park. It's the 7th of February 2026 and there's a deaths in custody rally here today. The previous one that was here, there was a giant police presence. There was a reasonable number of people in attendance. And today it's just a walk up. There's no cops at all so far. The one guy carrying his flag up. And off in the distance there you can see maybe 24 people gathered, and there's 2 or 3 cops. Mostly those other vans are just work vans doing all this whatever the hell they're doing here, and that's kind of it. That's it's a real there's a few more cops down there, but there's a real change, and it's just after 12 now, so it's kick-off time. So let's head up and we'll listen to the speakers and see what's happening, but it's looking very, very quiet. Last time too, media galore. There was a lot of hype behind it beforehand because the guy that runs it, Paul Silva, said he was going to march against on Parliament. Where's he going to march? Down to the Domain, I think, not even to Parliament House, against the rules and regulations. But they might be marching today because they do have there are some bike cops there as well, but they could be just there. So yeah, there's more cops here. So maybe they are gonna. Maybe there is going to be a march, I don't know. So I am not 100% certain what's going on, but it's damn well hot. I know that much. So I'll try and find a little, it smells like smoke, so it might be a smoking thing happening as well. But there's a little bit of socialist stalls. There's usually, last time there was a lot more. And yeah, that's kind of it. There's a reasonable number of cops, but certainly not a giant contingent, and I think there's the Aboriginal Police liaison officer lady. There was a lot of them last time. That's it, very small crowd. Virtually no media. There's just that guy. I don't know who he shoots for, but he said everything. He covers the protest. Anyway, let's see what happens. We'll try and stay cool for a minute or two. So they are having a little. There is a little smoking ceremony thing going to happen as well. And that's the Paul in the middle there with the hat on is Paul Silva, the guy who runs it. The cops are just having to sit down there, fucking exhausted already, hasn't even kicked off, and they're just having to sit down in the chin wag. And then there's more over there, so they have got a good lot of cops, just not on the way I came. Seem to be elsewhere. All right, it's starting to kick off now. I was just chatting to some guys came and sat next to me and chatted, but I speak my mind. I don't know if I'm what they are, but anyway.
Now, you heard me, I'm angry. Maybe my boys won't be as much. They know how to be subtle with me. They're humble. They're black men. They know how to be humble. Understand the system makes you be humble. Understand when you hear people say the system is broken, it's fucking not. The system is working perfectly to the blueprint that first came across these shores of radical extremism, white supremacy and racism, and hate speech. Understand? Yeah, I say hate speech. You know what hate speech is as a black person? Hate speech is English. English was beaten into my people. A language was beaten into us. So don't tell me it's not a language full of hate when I use it, because they made me hate it. They are the perpetrators of hate speech. They are the biggest hate group known, the Australian government. So today I let my brother now please welcome us to proper ceremony and culture to settle the ancestors, to allow us to awaken the ancestors and the elders and give respect to all families who have fallen and sadly will fall again to this perpetuous system of genocide. Thank you, my brother Nathan.
I like this fire here in Gadigal, the one of my sacred fire, sacred place. I'm going to send this out to our families affected by this, to our community. Send out that healing. Especially this time with everything's going on, it's important that we still do what we've got to do, light our fires. Send that call out. Keep fighting, keep healing, keep working this out. I'm going to sing this song. Activate this. Come on up when you feel free, we'll go around and we'll do for everyone. Help us bring a bit of peace to our hearts tonight. Relate and stand with the families affected by this in the community. This is just the beginning. Way to start off 2026, but here we are, still doing what we've got to do. So it's an honour to sing this song and stand all with you today, yeah? Look around. Look to your left, look to your right. Yeah? Yous matter, we matter, this matters. Yeah, how can we all sleep at night when they're doing this to our children, doing this to our people, doing this to our fellow community members? And as we do, when our communities are under attack, what do we do? Here we go, I'm going to sing that one.
Oh, Gajo, go! Panamari, smash! Gajo, Panamari, Gajo, Gajo. Gajo, Panamari, Gajo, Gajo. Gajo, Panamari, Gajo, Gajo. Gajo, Panamari, Gajo, Gajo. Ore, Banga, Yini, Wala. Ore, Banga, Yini, Wala. Ore, Banga, Yini, Wala. Ore, Banga, Yini, Wala. Gajo, Panamari, Gajo, Gajo. Gajo, Panamari, Gajo, Gajo. Gajo, Panamari, Gajo, Gajo. Gajo, Panamari, Gajo, Gajo. Ore, Banga, Yini, Wala. Ore, Banga, Yini, Wala. Ore, Banga, Yini, Wala. Ore, Banga, Yini, Wala. Gajo, Panamari, Gajo, Gajo. Gajo, Panamari, Gajo, Gajo. Gajo, Panamari, Gajo, Gajo. Gajo, Panamari, Gajo, Gajo. Ore, Banga, Yini, Wala. Ore, Banga, Yini, Wala. Ore, Banga, Yini, Wala. Ore, Banga, Yini, Wala. Go away, go away, go away, go away.
Thank you, brother. As brother mentioned, as you see, we've lit a fire today, so we're calling on the spirits. So please make yourself feel welcome to come through the smoking and be cleansed and be part of the ceremony properly. Asthmatics are welcome too. It can't hurt you. It's medicine from before white medicine came here to fix you. So yeah, please make yourselves welcome. Do your mob. Doesn't really matter. There you go. Just maybe take that out there anyway. So yeah, please, everyone, feel welcome. Come and join in the ceremony. Understand you're taking part of ceremony that was here since day immemorial.
There's no smoke there. He's come back with he's got like a wire.
Also, everyone, while you're standing around, we do have a lost car key. If anyone could just keep an eye out around, if you do find it, please come and let one of our organisers know. Thank you very much.
Magano, may kang gun. Bidjigal Waka Waka ta katunga kuringan. Kamaningai taro langga. Kapa mara kulita landa. Gadigal Country ngana majang nai. Respect the Gadigal Country.
This might take a while because there's a lot of there's quite a group of people gathered.
Thank you, brother.
Not quite sure what that bit was, so hopefully he'll just keep speaking in the interim. Whew. Yeah, there's a good, I'd say there is
Paul Silva, thanks for all coming out today.
100
Really appreciate it.
plus here now. I don't really, yeah. Oh, maybe not 50. I don't know, who knows. It's very hard to tell.
Aboriginal deaths in custody, brutalisation at the hands of police, New South Wales protest laws trying to not just suppress First Nations movements but other movements that are happening as well. For Aboriginal people, we've had a high rate of Aboriginal deaths in custody since 2025, and it's recently been released, but it's happened way before that as well. What I need people to know is these people are not criminals. They may be seen as criminals, but these people have families, they have loved ones. You know what I mean? And any person here today can be the next death in custody. And that's why it's important that we continue to stand up against the police, up against a system that is constantly killing other human beings. So I thank you all for coming out today. And, we need to continue to make a stand, to stand in solidarity with First Nations people moving forward. It's important that we continue. And that's why I'm here today. That's why I continuously stand up. That's why I continuously, move forward and keep at this government. Because, when they've got their knees on our necks, it's important, to go for their throats and ensure that they know what we're going on about. And I'm only a young boy. Not a young boy. I'm a young man, and I think it's important moving forward that, not just First Nations people, but non-Indigenous people also, stand beside us, walk with us. 238 years later, we're here under a colonial system known as Australia. Well, Australia's not the land you walk on. This land had governments, this land had law, this land had a whole culture, a whole society way before this construct got here. And that's what we need to take into account. People think that they benefit from this system. Well, I can tell you right now, this system has been corrupted for 238 years. First Nations people have been going at the corruption non-stop, scrutinising this government, and unfortunately, only some non-Indigenous Australians are only seeing it for what it is now. And it's important for me as an Aboriginal person to continue in the legacy of my ancestors. And what that means is wanting land back, wanting autonomy and authority for First Nations people moving forward. Because a part of the closing the gap is not only to ensure that our life expectation grows somewhat, because they ripped 20 years of our life expectation away from us. Non-Indigenous Australians live up to 80 years old. I'm probably lucky to see 45 or 40. I'm 26, so that's not long, And this is what the government done over 238 years of constant corruption, constant oppression against First Nations people. In many ways, shapes and forms. It went from murdering, killing, raping our people, to then poisoning waterways, to then poisoning our rivers, to then segregating us, to then killing us, and now killing us under a government that allows them to get away with it in forms of Aboriginal deaths in custody, in forms of systematic negligence from the healthcare system, in forms of bullying and harassment in schools that cause children to kill themselves, in forms of removal of children from their culture, from their family at a young age, like 10 and 12. So that removes their independence from them just like that, and makes them look forward to a future with no family, no culture, no community connection. At 10-year-olds, they are expected by the government and by the system to know what to do to move forward in life. There's been over 3 Aboriginal deaths in custody this year, and we're only sit at February. You know, it's important that people realise, like I said, these people may be seen as criminals, these people may be seen as bad people. The reality of it is, right, we're currently living under a system that will throw you in jail and lock you up. Now that's the accountable process. That's the process that we get here as humans. Now the people that are locked up in custody, some of them haven't even been found guilty of a crime. Some of them haven't even been found guilty of their allegations, but they're still coming home in body bags despite Australia not having a death sentence. You know, this happens in the streets, not just in jail cells. Quite fortunately, last year there was a police officer charged by the name of Benedict Wright. He was criminally charged for driving occasioning harm to a young 16-year-old Aboriginal boy. A tremendous step, a big step for Aboriginal deaths in custody families, advocates and community members that have fought since the 1991 Deaths in Custody Royal Commission. That was a big step that many ancestors that are not here today have fought for, and they hadn't seen that. But we, I will say, we are privileged to see that happen. But I will say it's one thing to hold them accountable, find them guilty, but it's another thing. You got to throw them in fucking jail and lock them up like you would me. And moving forward, for non-Indigenous people, my message to you is, you know, it's important that we stand, and you guys stand, and we all stand together, unified moving forward. We all stand together to abolish this government, abolish this system. Because they talk about closing the gap. I know how we can close the gap. It's an all Aboriginal government and law on the land that is ours.
What do we want? Land back. What was that? What do we want? Land back. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Land back. When do we want it? Now. How are we going to get it? Fight for it. How are we going to get it?
Fight for it.
I thought so.
Fuck the government for it.
Right. I have the privilege, honour and heartbreak today to be volume to another beautiful family who lost their warrior, their son, brother, uncle, nephew, partner and father. Today is his National Day of Mourning. Say his name, Patrick Fisher! Patrick Fisher! 8 years ago today, this beautiful young warrior lost his life due to police involvement, police interaction. They literally chased this poor boy to his death. Let's be real. Let's be real. If you don't know the story, look it up. This happened today, 8 years ago, in a little tiny town not far from here called Waterloo. If you know Waterloo, you know Redfern. If you know Redfern, that's the resistance hub of Sydney black dollars. That's where we started. That's where our elders and our ancestors fought and fought and fought for our rights to be here today to protest again. They thought back then, you know, they were on the winning side. We're still trying to win. This is why it's important you stand with us. But I have words written for beautiful brother Patrick here. So please, no, I won't apologise for being emotional, fuck that. So yeah, this is from his beautiful partner. Today is Pat's 8-year anniversary. Pat was the first victim of 2018 and the second victim of our area of Waterloo. The police say that Pat fell from the 13th floor high-rise just across from where TJ Hickey had sadly, tragically been murdered a week before on his 15-year anniversary. But nobody speaks about Pat. But today we're here to make sure you do speak about him and continue to speak about him. Say his name! Patrick Fisher! Thank you. Pat was our protector, our safe space, my peace of mind. And to his sons, he was their hero. He was their everything. Pat is loved and missed by all that have known him. This year, his immediate family are honouring his death date as a healing process. So they won't be here, but they give thanks to all of us and all of you that have come out to listen. And there's just a bit more. Oh, God, help me. Say his name! Patrick Fisher! Say his name! Patrick Fisher! Not quietly, not politely, not in a whisper that makes people comfortable. Because comfort is what keeps this system alive. Patrick Fisher was a First Nations man, son, brother, nephew, uncle, partner and father who died during police intervention. And before anyone tells us this is just another tragic incident, let's be fucking clear. Our people don't die in isolation. Our people die inside a system built to control us, not protect us. They say investigations are underway. They say procedures will be followed. They say wait for recommendations and findings. We have waited. And we have waited. And we waited through the Royal Commission. And we've waited through hundreds and hundreds of recommendations. We've waited through every promise that things would change. And still, our beautiful First Nations people are dying at a higher rate ever recorded today, 2026. So don't tell us to be patient while families are burying their loved ones. Don't tell us to calm the fuck down when statistics are still climbing. Don't tell us this is fucking complicated when the truth is simple. A system keeps killing our people is not fucking broken. It's exactly working the way it was designed. We are over-policed and under-protected, over-profiled. Just have a look at the jail rates. Just have a look at the incarceration rates. You don't believe my words? So when we are here in pain, like Patrick was, they send handcuffs instead of healing. When we are in crisis, they send a fucking police force instead of support. And when we die, they send press releases instead of accountability. And then they fucking ask why we're angry. We're angry because Brother Patrick Fisher deserved to live. We're angry because today his family he should be with his family. His family should not be in a day of mourning today, crying and weeping and traumatised for their beautiful fucking warrior that we see a photo of here today. We're angry because governments speak fucking reconciliation while our communities attend funerals. You want respect? Start with accountability. Start with some truth. You want peace? Give us some fucking justice. Because until there is truth, we will always resist. And we are not here to beg. We are not here as a poor person. We are not here with our hand out looking for rations. We are here to demand our sovereign right to self-determination. Demand our right that Patrick's family goes to live in peace. So yeah, justice for Patrick Fisher. Implementation of every fucking recommendation ignored needs to be done immediately. Community-led solutions instead of this fucking colonial control. And an end to the systems that treat our black lives as disposable. And hear this clearly. We will not be silent to make Australia comfortable. We will speak loud enough that this country cannot look away. We will deafen their ears how they deafen us with silence. Patrick Fisher is not just a poster boy. He's not a footnote. He's not just a statistic. And he's not another name to be forgotten. Say his name! Patrick Fisher! Say his name! Patrick Fisher! Thank you, everybody. Good day.
1967, right? 1967. William Ferguson, William Cooper, Jack Patton, and Doug Nichols, right? We weren't even known as citizens in our own country. Just imagine the battles what these old fellows fought for, so we're here today, you know what I mean? So just take a second to take in what they fought for, so while we're here today, you know, our old ancestors, you know what I mean? But we're in a frightening state here, people. Anybody on social media has ever seen the attack on the trains with our young Aboriginal young boys? No, serious stuff, you know what I mean? Our kids are frightened out there that they're going to get killed, you know what I mean? Because of the divide, what Pauline Hanson's doing to this country on divide, you know what I mean? Black and white, you know, we're supposed to be all work together, you know what I mean? But led by the Aboriginal people, the first people. The Aboriginal people lead the way. We led that for 65,000 years. We are oppressed in our own country, you know what I mean? We don't even get the recommendations because all these politicians, they sit behind a computer making decisions what's better for us. No wonder the Close the Gap targets are failing us because they don't even look at the front line. Severe mental health, you know what I mean? On the front line, our people are suffering severely. Suicide, the rates. Have a look at the stats like Lizzie and that, and when we're talking about today, you know what I mean? We're all going to work together in solidarity, but having the First Nations people leading this from the front. And like I say all the time, over the rivers is our free boundaries, our rivers, our creation stories, our handprints, our footprints. When the harbour when they come into the boats and the invasion, when they all come here in 1788, our people already had the smoking signals come through. They were telling us that we were getting invaded, right? They went along the north. So everyone say Bundjalung. Louder. From Bengi. The Dungutty. The Wanarua. The Awabbigal. The Darkinjung. The 29 clans of the Eora Nation. The Gadigal. The Bidjigal. The Wongal. The Gamaringal. The Gunangara. The Darwell. The Durrick. We'll go down to south, which is the Waddy Waddy. The Wandian people. The Yuan. The Black Duck people. The Derringer. We'll head west, which is the Ngunnawal. Nambria. The Wiradjuri. The Kamilaroi. The Waywan. And Barker, the Barkangee. And as far as Yorta, always was, always will be Aboriginal land.
Say his name, Patrick Fisher. Maganor. Hello everyone. My name's Ryan-Hennessy. I'm from Gunay, Botany Bay. I'm a Bidjigal man. I pay my respects to the Gadigal clan who's landed together on today. I want to thank Brother Paul and Auntie Liz, including me, to speak to me today as well. I just want to thank everyone who's been able to attend this rally. I can't stress the importance of needing to be here. It's important that we continue to support families like Paul, to show support and to stand in solidarity with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. Not just on Invasion Day, all year round. Our communities are losing people almost every week at the hands of the system. It is unbearable. The violence towards First Nations peoples in this country is something that has been happening since we were invaded and when our lands were stolen from us. Our governments refuse to dismantle the racist systems that their ancestors created. Instead, they continue to practice and enforce them. Since the Royal Commission in 1991, we've lost over 620 Aboriginal people in custody. And before that, we endured a massive genocide. Let me point out that we're only 3%, we're only around 3% of the population compared to the Australian. We're just under 1 million, we're under 1 million, there's under 1 million of us compared to 24.7 million non-Aboriginal people living on this continent. We're a minority. This year, the new year 2026, we've lost 3 Aboriginal people in custody and it's only been 5 weeks. Last year, we had 33 deaths in custody. There are 52 weeks in a year and we lost 33 people. If you were to do the math and add the numbers up from last year, that's 1 death in custody every week for 7.5 months straight. This is the racial violence and brutality that continues to be perpetrated against First Nations people. In Waterloo and Perth on Invasion Day, there was an attempted terrorist attack on our Noongar brothers and sisters at the Invasion Day rally. A bomb was thrown at the families and people who attended the rally. Thankfully it didn't go off and nobody was hurt. But where was the outrage? Where was the outrage from the Australian media and most of the politicians when that happened? The whole world stopped for Bondi. It almost took 2 weeks for it to be even considered a terrorist attack. Sister Lydia Thorpe, our communities and our allies had to speak up and push for it to be even considered a terrorist attack. First Nations people, we have a right. Sorry, I'm buggered. First Nations people, we have a right to feel safe in our own country. We are entitled, and I am going to use the word entitled. We are entitled to feel safe in our own country. We are entitled to walk our streets without getting harassed or brutalised by police. We are entitled to go to work and feel safe without copping racism. We are entitled to have gangs and not have bombs thrown at us. Our young ones are entitled to be young and free and to not be locked up in juvenile detention centres with spit hoods over their heads. We are entitled to live and be free. Because black lives matter. Our lives matter. There is something that the oppressors don't have, that we have, and that is strength. Despite it all, we continue to resist, we continue to survive and thrive, and we continue to stand strong. Because nothing is stronger than the will of the oppressed. And to our non-Aboriginal brothers and sisters who stand in solidarity with us, I need you to hear these words and I need you to feel what we're feeling because you are a part of this fight with us as well. It's up to us to keep taking to the streets and to keep politically challenging the government. So if you have time, make sure you keep showing up to these rallies. For our people, the sovereign people of this country, and for all oppressed peoples, let's keep the fire burning. Gadigal Country, Intifada Langa. Thank you, everyone. From Gadigal to Gaza, globalise the Intifada! Thank you, brother.
While we're here, I want to take a moment to acknowledge Lewis Kelly Jr., better known as Buddy. While my Buddy's family isn't able to be here with us today, it's important to me and the organisers of this event that his name and story are still spoken. This year marks 43 years since Buddy Lewis Kelly Jr.'s death. And after all this time, his family is still fighting for justice like many others. From the very beginning, the investigation into Buddy's death was flawed. Only one statement was taken from 3 witnesses, even though there was more than 50 people in the area that night. That failure has denied the family answers and accountability for decades. And we here today, and I, Auntie Liz, and many other people right around that still can't make it today, stand with Buddy's family as they continue to fight for justice. The case has now reached the point where they are seeking legal representation to take the matter to court in a hope that truth can finally be exposed properly to the family community and the failures can be put out on the table in the way that police will investigate Aboriginal deaths. We remember Lewis Kelly Jr. We stand with his family and we continue to speak his name and calls for justice and accountability.
Thank you. Gadigal, you mob. You'll see this beautiful sister. Come and help hold this banner in front. This beautiful sister standing beside me was a loving partner to this beautiful warrior who was taken by the hands of New South Wales Police through gun violence. He was having a hard day, as we do, having medical incidents, not doing well. As I said earlier, what happens when our people aren't well? They send killer cops. They give this young brother no chance of, talking him down, no chance of de-escalation, no chance of him coming out alive. Let's be honest. They stormed his auntie's house, pushed her out of the house, and terrorised this already not well brother. Okay? We all have mental health issues. Yeah, you have to be living in a colony. So does that mean they have the right to take his life? Because he was so struggling? Because he needed mental health? Because he needed someone to say, are you okay? No. He was met with a bullet to the fucking chest. And now his beautiful fucking woman stands here to take on his legacy, as her children do, as his brothers and sisters and all families do. So today again, say his name, Stanley Russell! Stanley Russell! Say his name! Stanley Russell! Say his name! Stanley Russell! And this only happened in 2021 in another little town over in the suburbs, Surry Hills, where police, as I said, stormed his auntie's presence, kept her outside, so no chance of him having anyone that he actually trusted to try and talk him down, no chance of support. Only chance he had was meeting a fucking cop with a gun. So you see why these rallies are so important. These are not just statistics. This is a life, a father, a partner, a son, an uncle, and a warrior for our community. Taken at the whims of New South Wales Police. So don't stand there and tell me that the police are our friends, because they're fucking not. My sister, I love you. Thank you for being here and allowing us to be the volume to your voice. It takes a lot to be family members to be able to stand up here. You might think it's easy. Anyone who knows me can hear my voice is shaking. It ain't fucking easy at all to stand there and be a legacy for someone who we know doesn't matter out there to the wider world. He matters to us. He matters to all of us here, yeah? Do not forget this, brother. Do not forget this fight. And when we call upon you again, come out. Come out with your friends. Make them accountable for what they do while they live here on this land. My beautiful sister again. My heart is always. Thanks for being here. Love you. All right. Well, are we down to the white boys? In good ways. In good ways. Now, it's important that you don't just hear from us, angry mob. You don't just hear from us, traumatised mob. You're going to hear today someone named James Pender. And yeah, when I first met him, truth be honest, scared the fuck out of him. So I should. But we built some little rungs in a ladder to a bridge. And now this man, I'm proud to say, stands there and does come to family meetings and does put up with us doing them fucking hard questions like, what are you going to give our family while we get traumatised and re-triggered inside a courthouse? This is Coronial advocate, leading lawyer of the ALS. Please make him welcome, James Pender.
Thanks, Lizzie. Thanks for having me here today. My name's James Pender. I'm a lawyer at the ALS over in Redfern. I acknowledge that we're on Gadigal land here today, and I pay my respects to elders past and present. Always was, always will be. Aboriginal land. I want to acknowledge that there's family and community members of people who've died in custody here today. I know that includes some of you. On behalf of the ALS, I extend my deepest condolences and solidarity to you. We're here today to speak about Aboriginal deaths in custody. Too many Aboriginal communities have been scarred by a death in custody. We know from working with families and communities we serve that those scars run deep. You can see it. You can feel it here today. Every death in custody is a tragedy. No one should die in fear. No one should spend the last days and hours without their loved ones by their side. Last year we had the highest number of Aboriginal deaths in custody on record. Nationally, more Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people died in custody than any year since 1980. We're barely a month into 2026 and we're already aware of more deaths. These people are not just statistics. They had names, stories, hopes and dreams. They were loved and they continue to be missed every day. At the ALS, we support families in coronial inquests into deaths in custody. We've seen through too many inquests to count that too many of these deaths are preventable. Many people who have passed might still be alive if they'd had access to proper health care, if hanging points had been removed from prisons, along with dozens of urgent solutions recommended by the Royal Commission into Aboriginal Deaths in Custody over 35 years ago. Prisons are dangerous places, yet New South Wales government policies are imprisoning more and more people, including children as young as 10. Aboriginal people in New South Wales are over 10 times more likely to be locked up than non-Indigenous people. More than half the kids in youth prisons are Aboriginal. The New South Wales government knows this, but they are doubling down on laws and policies which force more and more Aboriginal people into prisons. And more people in prisons means more death in custody. Australian states and territories spent over $1 billion on prisons in 2024. Since then, the yearly total has increased by $1 million. If governments are serious about closing the gap, it's time to stop investing in prisons and start investing in community. They need to invest in solutions that keep people out of custody, solutions that meet unmet needs, solutions that support health and well-being, solutions that hold institutions to account. It's time to work with communities, not against them. I'm about to finish, Lizzie, I won't be too long, but I want to say to the Aboriginal people here today, the ALS stands with you. We are here if you need legal help and support. We are also here keeping up the legacy of protest that founded the ALS more than 50 years ago. We are here today to take to the streets with you to show our solidarity and to put pressure on the government to make real change. Keep up the fight. because Aboriginal lives matter. Thank you.
Thank you, James, for being such a deadly white fella. All serious though, thank you, James. Means a lot. I do see the struggle you do for families behind the scenes. So thank you. Coming from me, yeah, thank you, mate, thank you. Yeah, you mob are going to get ready to start marching through the streets soon and let this city know that our lives do matter. All lives fucking matter, don't get that wrong. But you know what? Our lives matter the most right now when our ones are the ones filling the fucking funeral fucking parlors. Okay? And until them stats change, you won't get me out here saying all lives matter like some stupid little hypocritical white privileged person. Yes, we know all lives matter, but until you make black lives matter, how the fuck do all lives matter? So yeah, we're going to get ready to start marching. You can get that banner and that ready. We're going to go over that way, mob to the front. You fellas know the rules, not stupid. So yeah.
Alright, so it's time to march. The cops are just getting into position over here. I have a feeling.
Again, thank you all for coming out today.
I have a feeling the march will be down to the Surry Hills cop shop, I think. I'm not quite sure, but that's what I half remember reading earlier on.
Unless we keep coming out and keep putting pressure.
Only a little bit of media here today, this guy and then these two here, who I don't know any of their names. I think these mainstream media guys do mix in a bit with the people, but there's no visible cameras in the sense of like a TV cameras, like in the sense of mainstream media. I can't see ABC, and they're in the SBS they usually have a couple of minders, each couple of big bouncers. So no, the cop car down there, he's leaving to go onto the street. So that'll be a kick-off now. He's got his lights just starting to flash. The bikes are on the street too, down there behind St Mary's. The cops are kind of just gathered in the shade for now while they're waiting. And I'm sure the protesters will be coming down in a second. So yeah, this is, we're in Hyde Park in Sydney. That's the Centrepoint Tower, or Westfield Tower, I think they call it these days. It was always Centrepoint back in the day. You get these guys, they're called legal observers. They just keep an eye on things. I'm not sure exactly what they do. The cops' last few rallies, they make them go down there for some odd reason, but this time it looks like they're coming down this way. Well, I don't think they're going to do too much. This guy in the middle here coming up with a hat on, he's kind of in charge of a lot of the protests these days. I think he's been upgraded to the protest cop. Don't know his name. Yeah, so there's like a reasonable number of cops for the size of the group. It's a fair few. I don't know if I should stay up here. I'm wandering off way too far off in front of the happenings. But yeah, there's him. Yeah, keeping an eye on things, just trying to work out what's going to happen. It's a slow old process getting there. They're a bit slow to kick off, and then it went for a little while. So yeah, we'll see. He's just looking around and yeah, wondering what's going on. It's a waiting game. Yeah, in fact, he's going to wander back a little now and turn around again. And the commentary of the cops is annoying. Everything I do is annoying to some people, so but I shall continue to do it. Yeah, so the cops now they've blocked off. It's a chat fest. These guys are all Saturday pace. They're not triple time and a half like on a Sunday, but double time at least probably. But the cops are blocking off the street up there. You've got sort of police riot squad down there. The riot squad guys just stand together and chat together, and then the general duties cops, they have their own little area. Oh, here we go. Okay, here that's Bob from Palestinian Protest Voice. This the liaison officer is asking the head cop what's going on. There's no media. There's that guy in the middle with the white hair. He's I think he's some kind of socialist guy. And the guy here with the furry hair, he's just, again, not sure who he is.
What do we want? What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want?
You can see the size of the crowd now. marches now pretty much follow this same route. Straight down here, which is College Street, past St Mary's, and the cops just walk them along. Maybe a couple hundred now in the end, with the crowds are swollen from there, or maybe 100, I don't know. It's very hard. It's always hard to tell, hard to say, but yeah, maybe 100, maybe a couple hundred. It looks like they're only getting half the road, the use of half the road today. So it's only on this traffic side. Let's get up ahead again, mate. Oh, nice little span. It's the last few, and there's a few cops in the back. No horses. They haven't bothered with the horses today. There's a stray dog wandering around. This is the cops are issuing off-leash fines today. Well, we're just coming down to the front of. There's something else on here as well, which is it's a much smaller thing. You've got a lot of people kneeling. It's got to do. The photographer took a snap on the way past it. I'll do the same. It could be that Mary, the Day of Mary or whatever it's called, is usually quite a big thing. So this is a lot smaller today. They don't really like. They're looking at you like, wait, should you filming us? We're having a moment, attempting to have a moment of silence. That sign just says no bridal photography. Alright, so I'll leave them to this is moving at a cracking pace, the rally today. Yeah, not sure what that is at all. I had no idea it was coming up. I think it's a Catholic thing, obviously, I would assume. But they do have one of their days where they have that the Mary statue on the little sticks, and that's a big day normally. It's quite a lot of people. It's like, you know, thousands, if not tens of thousands, but not this one, obviously. All right, let's get back to the front. So they're coming up to the corner now of Park Street and College Street, which is the end of William Street. So William Street, that goes that way, whoop, that way. Park Street goes that way into the city. College Street goes both ways here, and then up there in the background is the Captain Cook statue. So I don't know if anything will get said as they come past, but you get a bit more of an idea of the size of it now. Well, they do continue straight, so more, yeah, what they're doing is they're just blocking the cops. They're blocking off the general public for a while. They let them run, so it hasn't been a big major disruption like it is sometimes. They have let them flow. Now it's it just go back a bit. Oh, they're going to stop now. And a third.
And everyone here needs to understand, he's a war criminal.
Oh, they're looking at Captain Cook.
Concrete, it won't protect our lives.
2-3 minutes.
Think about the government
And
you're
then
under.
the liaison just said 2 or 3 minutes.
Think about it.
See, I can't see it from this
Have a
angle.
look here. They'll stand there and protect the statue of a glorified, genocidal, white extremist, fucking rapist murderer. And yet, where are the divisionaries? Where are the divisionaries? Hey, honk your fucking horn! Hey!
Cops are going to go down and have a word to the guy on the horn.
We need you in the masses. Why have they taken us away in the masses? So let's continue on.
Sort him out, the big copper said.
Sort him out.
Yeah.
Black on the wrist. He's not black, I hope. Anyway, let's move on, you mob. But yeah, realise today is a day of mourning. And yet, tomorrow is another day of mourning. There are more massacres on this land than days in a year. Do not believe the rhetoric that Bondi was the worst massacre on this land. That's fucking bullshit. Get with the truth. Get with the people. Alright. We're black kids all under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fuck back. What do we do?
This is at the Australian Museum. Get an indication of the size. Oh, that's why they're only using half a road today. So there's a reasonably small crowd. The route should be a bit different. This is the standard route now since the Min's laws. they have to come this way. It's pretty much the only route that we've been marching, which is pretty crappy when you think if you want to get your word out to people, it's not a great route. There's therefore people here, get a few people outside the museum and a few people floating around, but realistically it's not like going through the city. Anyway, yeah, it is what it is. Let's continue on. Oh man, I tried. Anyway, this happens. Things happen. That way, I won't even go on to it here. Yeah, so it's still a progression up here. Not much difference. The difference will be when they come up to the corner here. Photographer in the middle here with a ponytail, he's telling me he got absolutely, when they first started the protest laws, he got rumbled pretty badly out of the way. And I was having a chat to him one day. I don't normally chat to him, but I saw him and said, I got footage of you getting knocked down. And he goes, yeah, he's agreeing, it's been pretty bad. Like today's pretty good, but he said it was really bad at Bondi. He got like, it wasn't good for him as a photographer, just trying to get in and get shots there. I guess they were a bit nervous back at the beginning of it all. Anyway, that's enough to talk from there, off topic. So they'll get up to the corner. The next corner will be the corner of where Liverpool, it's a funny spot when you think about it now. It's where Liverpool Street starts, where College Street ends, where Wentworth Street starts, and where Oxford Street starts. So it's an intersection where four streets diverge, and the last one was where three diverge. So yeah, there you go. Interesting point. You don't usually get Pullman here. Look at there. I think they're getting ready for. They probably have all shit inside too. They're getting ready for the march that's coming. What do you call it? The Pride thing, Mardi Gras, which is coming up. It's impending. Like I said, this is a College Street, College, Liverpool, Oxford, Wentworth, I believe. And then where they go from here, it looks like they're going to go up Oxford Street because they've cleared the traffic off, or they just stopped it here. No, they're driving up Oxford. So I guess to get to the Surry Hills cop shop, yeah, you go up Oxford, then you got to turn a right at some stage. All right, well, this is a new route. Haven't done this one for a while. When the guy got barreled up and shoved in a paddy wagon right here on that fence for a I can't remember what it was for actually, but I've seen him in another rally. Had a chat with him. Sorry about all the chit chat in the background. All right, so this new territory for these guys, Oxford Street. Lady asking cops, can she turn or whatever?
What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? When black lands are under attack, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? When black lands are under attack, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do?
The cops have stopped here. There's a bit of whistling going on from someone. I think the bike copper is saying they've gone too far, or I don't know. Anyway, I think they're going to turn. Maybe they're going to turn here, or maybe they continue. No. Oh no, the next bike's up at the next corner, so they'll go one more. Oh yeah, I just realised that they'll be turning here at Riley Street, which will take them directly to the cop shop where they want to get to the Surry Hills Police Station, which is just at the probably 2 blocks, a block and a half, 2 blocks down. So we're turning off Oxford Street onto Riley. A few people just wandering around, not understanding pretty much what's going on. I don't know, he's giving some hand signals to drivers. Quite know what I do a U-turn, is it? I don't need a U-turn. They're freaking. They'll be gone in 2 minutes. Anyway. Oh, he did tell him to U-turn. So they. I think it's a trick in front of the speed camera. Get him to do a U-turn, then give him a this lady's giving him the funny little sign. People in just sitting at the pub here, having a chillaxed afternoon, and just kind of watching on. It's kind of always the way with the protest, but that's the cop shop right there behind the Uber bike. So there's more cops waiting down there. Oop, someone's on the way there, sorry. Footpath on the footpath. I thought I'd been a bike. All right, let's get ahead and film them coming. All right, so that's the Surry Hills Police Station, and here they come. This is the end point, I believe. So the other guys come ahead down the bottom here, and he has a. So their cops will probably stand. Oh, they've already fenced it off. So they fenced off the whole. They fenced off the whole cop shop, and the cops will go around the back of the fence here, or the police line, and I guess some will stand in front. But then the one of the guys has come down ahead and put up a speaker system, so a few more speeches, and they've kind of fenced off the whole. The New South Wales Police Centre, which is the big one, and then the Surry Hills Police Station, which is that one. So they're all fenced off, and then everyone's just rocking in, and that's it. Well, that's speeches, I'd say. And then the cops are moving into position along in formation. Cops will be listening, but spreading. Not sure how it's gonna set out with the speeches, but I'm sure it'll be worked out momentarily. So they're bringing the whole. Even the cops are, they're on the road here. There's plenty of cop cars here because they work here, but they've blocked them at this end too, so they've got to stay in this designated area. All right, let's go listen. We don't survive without protest. We don't survive without resistance. Understand, protest has been happening here for 238 fucking years. Free from the cages, free from the prisons, free from the courthouses, free from the institutions that indoctrinate our babies to call them demons and devils. I tell you now, there's no bigger devil, there's no bigger demon than the Australian government that can lock away 10-year-old children. And we stand here today in respect for that beautiful brother. Where's his poster again? There, thank you son. Of course you know the rules. Beautiful Patrick Fisher.
understand where we stand, understand the institution behind us are responsible for his murder. Understand, not an incident, not a tragic incident. There's no tragic incident where you chase a young boy to fall 13 floors to his death. So yes, thank you all for coming out because it means so much. Sadly, there's not enough of us, but that's okay. That's okay. Because you know what happens today? You matter. You matter. You've taken it out of your Saturday to make sure you stand with us and make sure we are heard, make sure we are felt somewhat protected with community. Because there's no fucking way we're protected over that side. Yeah. Have a look. Have a look at the road. Have a look. Just have a look. What is this? What is this? What is this? Look at it. It's called a border. It's called a border. It's called a border where extremists and radicals and white supremacists are safe. And we are the called the divisionaries. We are called the ones that bring fear. There's not much more fear than a line of men and women standing with loaded fucking weapons on a crowded community day and morning.
Thank you, Artie. So this fight doesn't stop here. For us as First Nations people, mind the smoke. You got to smoke because too much stress, you know. Anyways. Yeah, no. So, International Day of the Elimination of Racial Discrimination is the 21st of March. And we are inviting everyone to stand at Hyde Park at 12 p.m. on Saturday, 21st of March. So lock that date in your phones. It's Saturday, 21st of March at 12 p.m. Come and march through the city with us, stand with the First Nations people on Gadigal land to stand in solidarity internationally on the International Day of the Racial Discrimination Elimination. And I'd like to get Brother Paddy up just to give you a bit more of an insight on what that day means.
Great to see us all out here today. Very important to keep coming out for black rights. Just respects to Gadigal people and to the resistance that's come on this land to British imperialism, the racist system of Australia that's been imposed on these lands. The Gadigal never stopped fighting, and we're inspired by that every day. The 21st of March in 1960 was a massacre in South Africa of protests led by black school students actually, who were being told they couldn't speak their language. Here in Australia in 1960, right across the continent, black kids were getting beaten for speaking their language at that exact time. And that massacre did trigger solidarity around the world, including solidarity here in this city, led by Aboriginal people, trade unionists. There was a massive meeting in the New South Wales Labor Council of hundreds of people that expressed solidarity with the struggle against apartheid in South Africa, and also called for an end to the New South Wales Protection Board, which was enforcing apartheid on these lands. And so we have to carry those traditions forward, because the apartheid system that they enforced here through their protection boards, their Aborigines Protection Acts, that kept people segregated on missions and reserves, that forced people to work for slave labour, for the agricultural industry and the pastoral industry here in New South Wales and right across Australia, that was broken and defeated by people refusing to cooperate, by people occupying the shops, the bars, the pools that wouldn't allow Aboriginal people to come in. That was broken by direct action, by defiant action of Aboriginal people and their supporters. It was broken by trade unionists who refused to take goods to shops that wouldn't serve Aboriginal people, that stood up and said, we won't accept apartheid on these lands. But make no mistake, apartheid still exists here in new forms. It's mutated. It's got new forms in which that system of racial segregation and control continues to be imposed. And it's the police force and the prison system that's on the front line of enforcing that apartheid. How can it be the case? How can it be the case
Aboriginal people in New South Wales are 3% of the population and now 40% of the prison system. What is going on? How can it be the case that Indigenous children are such a small minority and more than half of the work that is done, the surveillance, the forced removal by the system of so-called child protection in New South Wales is focused on Aboriginal children? How is that possible? The way it's possible is you've got to understand that the protection, so-called protection system, it never ended. The laws were repealed, but the same police stations that harassed and controlled families using the Protections Act continued to do so even though the Act was beaten. The same child so-called welfare officers that surveilled and removed Aboriginal kids under the official policies of assimilation continue to do so today, but now it's got a pretty face. Now they actually employ Aboriginal organisations and people to be at the front line of that. But make no mistake, it's the white racist politicians and directors of those departments that are overseeing a continuing genocidal process of forced removal of kids from their families here in the state of New South Wales and right across Australia. So apartheid here is alive and well. Out in the Albanese, Chris Minns, they're about to welcome the chief of probably the most brutal system of apartheid that exists today in the world over there. This so-called Herzog is about to land and they're going to roll out the red carpet for him. And they've tried very, very hard to repress all movements for justice, the Palestinian movement, the Aboriginal rights movement, all movements for justice, they've tried to repress in preparation for Herzog coming. It's very clear now, they say in their own words, the reason those so-called anti-protest laws were brought in is to protect this vile, genocidal maniac they're about to welcome. That's why they introduced those laws. But the reason we could march today without harassment along the route that we did, there's one reason, and that's because I know a lot of people here were there with us about 3 weeks ago when Paul led a rally against death in
Cops are just
custody,
bringing in big
where we
boxes
said
of water.
we would defy these laws en masse on Invasion Day. You try and stop us, you better bring an army because we're not scared and we're coming
liaison.
reason that they have carved out a section of this city where protest is allowed. One reason, black resistance. That's why. Right, and the Palestine Action Group for the Paul Onion the very next week to march along the same route and have been blown open by Aboriginal activists refusing to surrender. It's that defiance that we need. And comrades, we need it on Monday night. They're trying to tell us we can't come into the city on Monday night. I know the mob that I work with, they say this is sovereign land. They're going to march on that land. I'm going to stand beside them. We'll be marching on Monday night to say no to the genocide in Palestine, no to the genocide on occupied Aboriginal land. We'll stand against all war criminals, Herzog, Albanese, Minns, lock them all up and free the black prisoners they continue to hold. We need thousands and thousands on Monday night. Come out as strong as you possibly can and then back it up. 21st of March, International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination. Break apartheid in Palestine. Break apartheid on this continent. Come out. Bring the numbers. Chris Minns boasts about how many Aboriginal men, women and children he is locking up. He boasts about his so-called law and order regime. We have to wipe the smile off his face and lock that criminal up. So please, go out there and build those numbers. Let's come back in even stronger numbers. Monday night, racist. Thank you, comrades.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
You cannot! You're committing genocide! Chris Smith, you cannot! You're committing genocide! Albanese, you cannot!
I love your passion, but wait there, we need to correct English. He's not just supporting one, he's committing one. Right? So it's like, let's get it real. Love your passion, but gotta get to use that good word.
You cannot!
You're committing genocide!
Chris Smith, you cannot!
You're committing genocide!
Albanese, you cannot!
You're committing genocide!
Netanyahu, you cannot!
You're committing genocide! Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Love you, always.
Always will be!
You see this? This is how we win. This is how we win. Sister First Nations, brother Palestinian, hand in hand, side by side. We will not be the terrorists. We know who the terrorists are. We might bring fear to the terrorists, and fear comes with word of truth. Truth to people. People to power. As I've said, and I say again, truth might hurt if you're a white fucking snowflake. Truth heals. Otherwise, truth heals. So when you learn to sit in your truth, you might be healed. Praise my ancestors one day help you. Also, realise that, as I talk about the language of the brother, here in this fucking colony, they call the elimination of the discrimination present called, what is it called, you guys? Harmony Day. Isn't it sweet? Let's all go and put an orange frock and go to work and be harmonious together while black kids are being stolen, black men are being killed, black women are being raped. I tell you it's a harmonious day. I'm not racist. I'm wearing orange. Fuck off with that bullshit. Exactly. Fuck you. I heard you. Wearing orange. Are we on Donald Trump fans? So the orange people. But yeah, in reality, come out on Monday. Come out again when we call you. Come out when anyone calls you to stand up and resist against this oppressive system that oppresses each and every one of you here. Don't be blinded. Don't come out and think you're just being solidarity with black fellas. Think about your own fucking lives and how you're being oppressed to being a slave in a robot to the system. Think about it. Think about the institutions that fuck your brain, fuck your kids. Because tell you now, they've done a lot of fuckery, but that means we won't stop. We're here to unfuck the fuckery. We're here to say fuck you with passion, with hate speech as they call it. As I've said, English is hate speech. Arrest me for that language. It was beaten into my old people. So yes, come out on Harmony Day and let's show the world how harmonious we can be in the resistance. Oh, it's fucking bullshit. But yeah, reality is back to also apartheid, our brother said, they learned from what they did to our people in Queensland. They learnt the skills. They took the policies because they saw what fucking so-called white Australia was getting away with against our mob. They took policies from here to go and start the apartheid everyone talks about over there. That's why it's important you stand with us. Know your truth on this colony. And we lost messages. I'm getting tired. Not real good, okay? Anybody, any black mob want to say anything before I wrap up?
That was deadly, Mom.
That was deadly, Mom.
The Kingsville Boys Home, right? These fellas were raped. What happened to the Kingsville Boys Home? They were given numbers. They were like cows' numbers. They had numbers. They never even weren't human beings. We're fighting for the oppressed of the truth telling in this country, right? The Cootamundra Girls Home. When we drive down there to Cootamundra, across the stockyards, is where the Bimbadeen mission, where these girls were taken. The wind these people couldn't even speak their language, right? The language was taken away from them. Shame! Shame! Not only that, they were whipped. They were chained to a tree and whipped. Shame! And when you go past that Cootamundra and you can feel the wind, you can feel their screams still to today. Bimbadeen, Kinjala Boys Home, the boys were raped in these institutes, you know what I mean? Shame! And Kinjala Boys Home today, I think they're going overseas to New Zealand, aren't they, only Lizzie, you know, to connect with the Maoris. They're all being repressed, you know. Back in the day, everyone was stolen, you know what I mean? So it's not only us, everyone around the world are being repressed, but we've got to lead the way for the history of here. When citizens come to this country, they should know about the First Nations people when they land here. They do it in Hawaii, they do it in New Zealand, but they don't do it here. Know your history in this land, the genocide, the massacres. Lizzie and Paul and all of our comrades, you know, Rachel, everyone there, Linda, Rapatak, they're all here. My nephew James he's been through the institute, you know what I mean? All these rights have been taken away through a system that's failed us miserably, you know what I mean? And like, if you read through the stats and you have a look at the institutes, like we're 3%, but we hold the largest population of incarceration. Shame! Shame! Always was, always will be Aboriginal land!
Thank you, Michael. I just hope little name there. Yeah, you know, I understand we talk about Kinchler boys, talk about Cootamundra girls, but understand there's so many that aren't mentioned. And so many more. Today as we stand here, 35 black kids will be taken away from their families. 35! In one day. Yeah, shame. You know, these days, our babies are stolen, they're put in what they call out-of-home care. They'll chuck our kid in a hotel. Overnight. Like, you know, anyone been homeless and linked to home bullshit? They do that to our children when they remove them from their parents' home, move them from their grandmother, move them from their father and uncle. They are given no resource. They are given no care. And they are taught that they are worthless and to be nothing. And this is today, 2026, in such an evolved continent of beautiful white supremacy. The reality of our black babies, 35 of them tonight, will be crying in a stranger's arms, maybe handcuffed, maybe brutalised, definitely traumatised. 35, and I see my beautiful young son out there tell me I'm deadly. That's their big fucking thing. My beautiful boys, and all the beautiful boys and girls that can hear me right now, know you are loved, know you are worthy, and know we will not stop until you are able to walk free on your own sovereign lands with your spirit, with your voice, with your truth, and most importantly, with your black lineage of love and sovereignty. You know, we come out and everyone thinks, oh, here they are again, the complaining blacks. Complaining? Wouldn't you complain too if 35 of your babies getting locked up every night? Wouldn't you complain too when you can't go home and give birth on your lands like your mothers and mothers and mothers and mothers and mothers did before you and sing our baby to country that we're denied of? And that's how this system starts. Our black women aren't allowed to have black babies, our black ways anymore. If we don't go to the white midwives, whatever the fuck they call themselves, midwives, if we don't go to their appointments, or they're called antenatal, prenatal, long time since I've been pregnant, guys, obviously. But yeah, if we don't go and check in with these white witchy nurses, we get red flag reports to DCJ. To the child protection people. Exactly, set up. And then when they remove our children, they put in new policies that we will only have 2 years to right all the right wrongs to get ourselves in a place to have our child returned to us. Anyone in this crowd right now, let me come and strip your baby from you, give you no authority to them, And let me tell you, to come back in 2 years the same person with stability to have your child back in your arms. Fucking impossible. This is why we need you in the masses. This is just not a cry of being angry blacks. Mind you, I'm fucking angry and fuck yeah I am. But listen, why? This is your community. These are the people that you vote to put in power, that hold the structures. We talk about war criminals signing fucking bombs. Let's talk about war criminals signing policies that still take away our babies, still destroy our land, are still committing a vicious genocide right here. Let's not forget the alliance that we need. Any sort of justice on this land must start with black justice. And if you get that wrong, come and find me. I'll educate you all day, every day. Because the fact of, you know, as much as we need to do this, it gets tiring, you mob. It gets tiring every day that we get on a mic and talk about a beautiful death in custody. Reality is, next week, we add another one to that brother's list. So it gets tiring, but doesn't mean we're going to stop. Because until these fucking genocidal killers stop, we ain't stopping. So applaud yourselves, yeah. Give yourselves a round of applause, you know. There's a plan that you must get out here with us. And now you know where to be on Monday. Where are we going to be?
Town Hall!
Huh? Where are you going to be?
Town Hall!
Right, and what are we going to be doing?
Marching!
Yeah, what else?
We're going to march.
Yeah, all the good stuff. No, we're here to resist. We exist to resist. You know, until they stop. Once they stop this fucking genocidal regime against all of us, then maybe, you know, we don't need to be out here screaming what they will label us, hate speech and hate group and all that bullshit English on shoved down your throat. So yeah, Monday I'll see you all there, loud and fucking proud. Who's going to help me get into town? That's a real question, actually. Who's going to come and be my entourage to make sure we get to town hall? Right? Understand that day they're going to be out in the thousands. They're already putting it out in the media that we are to be feared. Yet, who's holding weapons? Who's holding a line of force? So, so come out on Monday. We need you there to make sure everyone understands war criminals are not welcome. From Albanese, to Horizon, to all the fucking occupation killers that come here. And otherwise, be there with my nephew on that lovely day, comedy day. I go all the way orange. Imagine, everyone coming orange, you're buying your orange flower, you turn up with something orange for me, fuck the system. How about that? Otherwise, everyone from today, we thank you on behalf of my nephew Paul. Where are you? Somewhere having a chat over there. Come here. Alright, yes, you. Here. Oh, no. Yeah, not you, my nephew, boy. Nah. Otherwise, everyone, get home safe. Get home together. If you're a brown, Arab, queer person, obviously all of us, please stay in twos or threes. Don't go home alone. Because you will be profiled. You will be harassed. You will be, traumatised by a boy or girl in blue. I can guarantee you that. Otherwise, I will see you all Monday. I'm Lizzie Jarrett. Thanks for coming. My beautiful nephew, Paul. From Gadigal to Gaza!
Alright, so that's it. There's a good number of cops here. She's the only one over this side of the fence, lined up pretty much all the way up to the Surry Hills Police Station as well. And yeah, that's it for now. So it's through here. And yeah, it goes all the way along. And the street's completely blocked off. So this is actually a one-way street, so it'll be blocked at the other end rather than, I'm not sure why they're blocking that end. Oh, I guess it stops, I don't know if it stops people, I don't know what it does anyway. but yeah, that's it. So, oh, those cops are always walking off now. They're the riot squad guys. They always get there. They're always off first. The vests have to hang around the longest. All right, so that's it. I had quite an experience at Surry Hills Police Station back in the day, during COVID, and it's like, I understand. Here's all the police water. I was picking heaps of police water. Anyway, yeah, I was here having to deal with the police back in the day. Look, during that, when the Freedom Day it was called, when Freedom Day came, and I was looking at these photos with the light with these guys getting. I've never seen that one before. The Aboriginal flag with the sort of bushy bits to it. Yeah, pretty much that's it. So yeah, it's probably not the right time. I don't mind having a little bit of a rant at the end on the way home, because I've got to walk about 10 minutes, I guess, from here to get home. Fucking heaps of water's gone. They've all had a lot of water. I think I've never seen that ever at a protest before. So it's sort of the lump. It's only because it's the Aboriginal liaison officer, I think, would have organised it. I mean, I don't know. He's just, I don't know. Anyway, it is what it is. So it's blocked off here. So anyone that came up this street has to zoom up that way, and it's only really blocked off a stretch here, which is nothing really. Anyone can get around it pretty easily by detouring around not even a single city block, half a block. All right, so I'm off. And yeah, it's a long story about the COVID days, and then my realisation as a white Australian that discrimination was an actual thing. It might sound hard. It might sound a bit funny saying that at this rally, but I realised that day, there and then, talking to that police officer when I was at my kind of lowest ebb, not knowing what the hell I could do. I went into that police station right there to look for help, and I was just like traumatized by it. That when I left, that I had all this police officer told me there's 35 different things that if I did, I'd be arrested for, because it was like, that was just the situation then. If you hadn't partaken in the human trials phase of the mRNA DNA genetic modification experiment, if you didn't get vaccinated, this is your situation. And it wasn't true, of course. Oh, sorry, I didn't have any, I wouldn't drink the police water, but I will drink that freaking poison from the tap. And this is a quality green, I think they call it. They have these rainbow bloody things everywhere now. They try to put more in. Got a lot to say about that too, which gets me in trouble. But yeah, so that day I realised that me being part of this little 3% of people who did not, in New South Wales at least, that didn't take it, that we are not genetically modified as such. We still retain our original, the way we were born, our original humanness. We haven't had a genetic modification made to our body, because it's I got a lot. I can waffle on about this for hours too, but I just you're gonna have to suffer. We're 18 minutes into this last video. We'll push it on to 10-minute walk home. But I went in there and I spoke to this officer it was just like I said, Freedom Day had arrived for the double jab. They were waiting for 80 or 90% had to be single jabbed and 70% had to be double jabbed. And then the Premier at the time, Don Perrottet, said, yep, if you get, in the Health Minister, what's his name, Brad Hazard, or Health Hazard as we used to call him, they said, yeah, you can have your freedom back. You're allowed out. The restrictions of the 5 kilometres is gone. Only one person per household can go to Woolies each day is gone, and mask wearing as you wander around the streets is gone. If you're out sitting in your backyard, you got to have a mask on, and all the other shit they had, all that rubbish. People must understand now. It was just a con. The whole thing was a con, and the social distancing was just, everything's come out now. There was this, that Fauci just made it up. This is talking to someone else in America, the head of the CDC, Fauci, and it's like, oh, what do you reckon? About a metre? Or no, what about 2? Okay, let's settle for 1.5 metres. And then that was their thing. That's how it was scientifically formulated back in the day. So there, and if you take the vaccine, you're immune from catching it. As later on, it's like, oh no, we actually didn't test it for immunity, so you're not immune. You got just as much chance, probably more chance of getting the old C. Something's I'm blasting, I'm saying it too loud these days, people get upset. You can't, you've got probably more chance of getting COVID if you've actually had the vaccine, not less. It's like, oh, okay, you didn't tell us at the time. Oh yeah, well we kind of, it was all experimental. It was warp speed. We just needed 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and on and on and on and on. Anyway, so come back to up here, the Surry Hills cop shop. Oh fuck, these lights will make you do the wrong thing occasionally. I get there and I go in and I see the lady and I say, I just wanted to know what I'm allowed to do now that the Freedom Day's arrived, because I'm not vaccinated. And she goes, so you can do whatever you want. And I said, oh really? Oh, that's good. And I said, yeah. And I said, yeah, I'm not vaccinated. And she goes, oh no, I thought you said you're vaccinated. So no, I'm not vaccinated. Well, you can't do anything. There's no change for you. I said, what? And she goes, no, you can't do anything. You have to wear a mask. You got to, as you leave here, you got to wear a mask. You can't leave your 5 kilometre area. You can't do this. You can't do that. And then I thought, oh fuck. And I said, oh, it's just some information. I got this whole thing written down. I'll post it up as punishment. No, I won't post it up here. But anyway, if anyone has listened this far into this video and you want to know, I know it's all off topic, but look, I'm filming it. I got asked by this socialisty guy today where I'm filming for. It's been a bit of a common thing lately, and this is I'm doing it. Nobody's telling me to do it. I'm not getting paid to do it. I'm not a fucking ASIO spy. I don't work. Actually, as he walks past the ASIO fucking headquarters, he says that I don't work for ASIO. Look at the cameras here. Look at it. 1, 2. It's on one corner. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can look. Let's count from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, well 14, there's only 14 there, and then down the end there's, it just goes on and on and on. So this is ASIO, got all these bollardy things they've whacked into. So I don't work in there, never been in that building. There's a lady going in, shouldn't film her, but what the fuck, she's, it's public street. So I have, they got all these bollards in to protect it, and she's going in, tapping in. Good luck to her, it's a job's a job. AFP, no trespassing, offenders will be prosecuted. So I won't go, well, I'm assuming I can't walk past this, so I'll just play these. Look at this end as well. They're probably inside there. There's a guy there filming. Anyway, so again, I reiterate, I don't work for these guys. I don't work for anyone. I do this for myself, to record history in Sydney of the protests that take place. Now, I copped a lot of shit from the Palestinians early on, and I copped it from someone, at this rally too, because, they don't like what I said. And I've decided now, look, just keep calm. I got told off the other day by people, and I take things on, and I said it to the socialist guy, that I was standing there on that bloody precipice, filming the protest between the sign, where's my finger? Between the sign and the roof, and there's a big gap all the way down. There's a massive gap all the way to the ground. I'm just standing up there, and the guy showed me on his camera yesterday. It looks terrible, and I got told off by not told off, but I got asked by the socialist guy yesterday, the big tall guy, whatever his name is, or the day before. He said, "Why, look, why are you doing that?" Blah, blah, blah. And now I'm looking at it from this angle. Funny how things come up as you walk along. So I said, yeah, look, okay, I do. Look, I can take feedback. So what I'll do now is I'll just stand in the car park rather than on the bloody edge of the fence, where it looks so precipitous, which means like, I don't know what it means, but precipitous. Anyway, back to the story. So I get to the cop shop, and then once you realise, and then I thought, oh fuck. So, and I said, is there something you can give me? Have you got some paperwork? And she said, no. I said, well, how do I know what I can and can't do? She said, I just told you, nothing changes for you. You can't do, you can't go to the pub, you can't go to, all you can do is you can go to Woolies or Coles. That's pretty much it, and you must wear a mask at all times. You can't leave your area. And I thought, fuck, but I kind of heard, there wasn't much information at the time, and Brad Hazard was on the TV last night, and he got asked by one of the things about the unvaccinated, and then he just kind of gave this smug answer of, there's no more LGAs. LGAs are gone, meaning the local government areas, which was your thing. You couldn't go outside your local government area. And he just said, LGAs are gone. So in my mind, I thought, well, that means I can't, there's no LGA. Well, how am I going to be, trapped in my LGA like I had been for the previous 105 days? And then we had to wait. I think we had to wait as an unvaccinated community. You had to wait another 2 or 3 months till you were just able to join in. We'd get our unvaccinated Freedom Day. So I went and I went home and I looked up. She gave me this little thing, covid.gov/something, a little tiny little bit on a little post-it note, this big in her hand. It's at home. I won't be able to film for this thing, but it's just sitting on my dartboard at home. My unused dartboard in that many years, because this was back in 2022, I guess, whenever it was. And And I went, oh, okay, well, I'll go. I'll just leave and I'll just fucking go home and try and research. I get home, I look it up, there's nothing. I found the document, easy enough, because she gave me the link, and it's got nothing in there about anything. It just said, and you can't, if you're unvaccinated, you can't go to a holiday house, or you can't stay at a holiday house, or something. There was some odd thing on, you know, paragraph 15D or something or other. I'm making this bit up because I don't know the numbers, but it's on there, it's on the document. And I get there, I think, oh fuck, okay, I'll go back, because I felt, you know, I just wanted to find it, you know, I just wanted to organise. I go back and I'm going to walk home now. It only takes me 10 minutes, so it's that place where I am of whatever time it's taken me to get here, plus the extra time to walk home from here. And then I go back and I say, oh, is it Constable, what's her face on? And someone got her, and it's like, yeah, and she came in, dirty look on her face, you know. She took, well, it got the big, you know, the fucking 6-inch plexiglass there to stop, you know, it could stop a fucking bullet, but she had to take a step back, you know. It's like, not this dirty, freaking filthy guy again, with his freaking COVIDs all over the place. And I said, look, I want to, you know, I couldn't find anything else about it. I just want to know. And she said, look, you just don't need to know that document. You just listen to me. This is it. This is what it is. You can't do this. You can't do that. You just, nothing changes for you. You're still all this blah, 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 blah. You know, you shouldn't be even out walking up here. And in the end, I said to her, look, I've got an admission to make. Actually, when I heard the news last night about Freedom Day, I'm an avid snorkeler, and I thought, no, stuff it. I'm going to go. This morning, I jumped up this morning and I went to Gweagal to go snorkeling. And she said, well, you know, you weren't allowed to do that. And I said, look, I know I did it. Look, I just, you know, I just wanted to come clean with you guys and just, you know, put it on the record. So if there's any problem, if there's a, you know, mass spreading event in Gweagal, you can pin it back to me, because it was all this thing about, you know, someone who was at Bunnings on the 18th of March, and there was a super spreader event and all this other crap that was going on at the time. And so she said, oh, look, don't worry. I said, look, I really want something. You know, I don't mind if you give me a ticket or whatever, I just want something. And she goes, look, I'll let you off this time. I'll let you off with a warning. And I said, oh, no, I prefer not to. And there's another lady there. She is an Aboriginal lady of origin, had come in to report for her parole. And she's looking at me saying it and she's wondering, what the, you know, fucking hell, this guy's getting let off. And he's saying no. And it's like, you know, I've never been let off before. And if I was let off, I would, you know, fucking, I'll jump at the chance, you know. So she's going, no, it's a good deal. She's telling me, she starts talking to me, she's listening into the whole bloody thing. She goes, no, it's good. It's a good thing. Just take that. And I said, no, I don't feel comfortable doing that. And I explained it a bit more, and then she just was shaking her head in disbelief. Anyway, she just had to sign off and just tick off that she didn't turn up last week because she didn't feel well, and there was some rigmarole, and off she trotted and done for the day. Still shaking her head at this crazy guy not accepting the offer of getting off the hook. And so I went. I was telling her more and more and more, and then in the end she said, no, I'm not going to give you a warning. I'm not going to do anything. I said, look, can you just note it in the system? She goes, okay, I've noted it in the system. I said, you don't even know my name. What have you noted? That some random dude came in, and she goes, all right, give me your license. And then it's stupid of me to go into it all, but I thought at the time I had in my mind, I had my thoughts of what I was doing, so I did it. And then she takes all the details down, and she goes, okay, I put it in the system. And this is where I realised how people, you know, First Nations people or Aboriginal people, or whatever you want to say, or Indigenous people, how or even immigrants, or, you know, that aren't great on English, how they can just be fucked over by the system. I'm a, you know, educated guy of a reasonable intelligence, I would say. People might disagree with that, but I would say I have a reasonable intelligence, and I'm articulate, and I understand English, and I can converse freely with people in English. It's not a problem for me. You know, how I understand now how people that don't have that ability could just be bamboozled by this and not have a chance against these cops when they want to do their shit. And I'm not putting shit on cops right now. I'm just saying this is my experience with them that day. And then fresh ice creams. Okay, don't get distracted. And then I went to the 29. That's 15 minutes. All right, I'm looping now, so I can keep talking. It's cooler in here too. I might go downstairs where it's even cooler again. What's all this shit here? Now I've gotten distracted. Now I'm gonna look at other shit, Pokemon and garbage. Anyway, people get it. People get it. Let's just loop around back in here. It's kind of a nice breeze here. It might sound noisy, but yeah, look, you know, she's checking jewelry, and life goes on. You know, I meet a lot of different people in my what I do with protesting, and some are, some are reasonable, some are not. But yeah, that's something to do with something. So anyway, we get there. Everyone, you can tell where I am now, World Square. Anyway, stop. Back on track. So in the end, and she goes, okay. And I said, oh, can I have a number? And she goes, no, that's our number. I said, what? I get no reference number as to this. You put me down, you put something in your system, and there's a reference number. She goes, yes. I said, can I have it? She goes, no, that's our number. I said, are you kidding me? I can't have any reference number to, no. And it was on, and that was it. And then she said, look, I'm going to give you a move on order. And said, you must obey every directive I've given you. And it was like 20, 35, 35 different directives by then, or whatever it was. And then she added that you cannot come within 600 meters of the station here. You can't do this. You can't go here. You can't contact anyone. You can't do this. You can't do that. All these things she told me over and over. I'm just getting bamboozled, of course, by it all. And then I'm thinking, oh, far out, man. And I just went home and thought, oh, fuck, what the hell am I allowed to do? Why am I not allowed to do all these things that all these other people can do? Because they've either had one or two of these, experimental injections, but I haven't, and only for a good reason, not a bad reason. And anyway, and then I realised as I read on, when days went by, and I'm thinking, oh, I just stayed put and I didn't do anything, and then days went by. And then I realised this is fucked up here now. All these shops, that's a hotel, but all these other businesses are all closed down. Oh, even that one now. That's the latest one to close. No, it's all closed because it's a shit spot. It's a shit spot to have a business. The Bavarian Active Kids. There used to be like a hamburger shop or something here. That was a dumpling place. That was the Bavarian. We got to $8 wines and all that sort of thing. None of them can make a coin. So that's also, what's that now? Oh, that's just that's building construction, sort of made that into the kitchen for them now if they're doing some work. So yeah, tour of Sydney while you're hearing my rant. And so then what was up to? I got told to leave, and then stayed home, didn't know what to do. And then finally I googled and searched and googled and tried to find thing, and I was so alone because all my friends were all vaccinated. I was the only one not vaccinated that I knew. I knew one other person actually. She was a bit quiet, kept very quiet during that period. She worked exactly right in this where I am again. Another coincidence. Where I am, she worked in this big building here. Then I went out on one of my walks inside my LGA because I thought I couldn't leave. And this was about a week and a bit. It was 9 days or so. And then I chatted to this lady in the street, and she goes, "No, that's all fucking bullshit. That's all. You do what you want now. We're all the same." She was unvaccinated. I hadn't met any other unvaccinated people. And then I looked at her, I went back and she said, "No, look up this and get on here." And she gave me some heads up about things. And I checked it out and it was like, oh, fuck, no, that's all bullshit. That whole thing that copper told me was all fucking bullshit. It was all a lie. And then I realised and I couldn't go into the pub. I went to my local pub that night, actually. I went just try it on, just to see, really, to get a reaction. I spoke to the bouncer there, nice, friendly guy. And I said, he goes, "Oh, welcome back." I said, "Oh, yeah, well, that's a long time. It's 105 days. You finally reopened again." And he goes, yeah, no, it's been a while, blah, blah. How you been? And I said, "Oh, can I come in?" He goes, "Of course you can come in." And I said, "Oh, but I'm not vaccinated." He goes, "Oh, no, look, sorry, brother. Sorry, mate, I can't let you in." And, I said, "Oh, that's okay." I said, "Look, I'm glad it was you that told me, no one else, And that was how it was. And then, anyway, so then I realised to myself what discrimination is. It's like, because after that, the more part when I really realised the discrimination, I was in amongst this small group of either, pretty much about maybe 10 or 15% of the population that were unvaccinated at that time, who were, restricted in their movements. But it wasn't too much. We just couldn't go to a pub or a restaurant, really. All the LGAs were fucking bullshit. That had all gone. So her telling me, giving my write-up for going to Clovelly that day, all bullshit, all the fucking beat up. And I get to, after Freedom Day finishes, then all the pubs, this is the discrimination. All the pubs opened up and the clubs, except some. And I would go around and I would see them and they'd have these signs out the front. And I'm a bit of a fucking asshole and a stirrer, so I would say to them, they would say out the front, you need to show your proof of vaccination to get entry. And I'd say to them, "Look, that's over now. You can't legally do that." And they say, "Oh no, it's a board decision." And I said, "You got to be kidding me. Your company, even though it's completely illegal to stop me entering, your board of your company says, no, we don't want this dirty, filthy fucking guy in here. And he said, yeah, that's right. And I said, look, if I was trans, I could come in. Yep. If I was Aboriginal, I could come in. Yep. As long as you're vaccinated and all these things. So the only one just getting discriminated against was me, pretty much. Me and my small cohort by then, which was down to like 5% of the population. So we were the ones, and it was discrimination that they did for themselves, completely illegally. And no, there's no one, look, no one's answered to it. No one's been questioned on it. And, you know, there was a bit of pushback amongst the unvaccinated community against these fuckers. And then the signs did start to slowly come down once the AHA, so the AHA, Australian Hotels Association, had two signs. One was these ones, yeah, you can come in, and the other was, no, you can't. They had two lots, and I think there was a bit of pushback against them getting sued, and it was like, oh, okay, we should get rid of those, you know, no, you can't signs. We don't want to get sued. You know, let the fucking dirty fucking filth come in, and that was it. So that, you know, that's my little add-on to this protest today, which is not exactly relevant to anything at all. A little bit, to be honest, it is a little bit. It's my introduction to discrimination, and like I said, you know, I hadn't known growing up as a white man in Australia. I didn't know any discrimination. I didn't perpetrate any discrimination against anyone else. I had a big variety of different races and religions of friends, and yeah, I was hanging out with a lot of Aboriginal people during, especially during COVID. That's when I kind of was hanging out with these homeless guys down at Woolloomooloo under the bridge, and they were real, you know, it was just a great experience for me back then. It's a whole other story, of course. I've always thought I'm tolerant, and you know, I'm not a racist, I'm not a bigot, I'm not a bloody, you know, transphobe or a homophobe or all these things that I've been called. I'm none of those things really, but I'm just me, you know, I just get on and do my thing. But these protests, even though, you know, today's people, we have a bit of history, but it sort of seems to have calmed down now. It's just, I don't talk to you, you don't talk to me attitude, which I like. And yeah, look, I'm happy to just do it to record history in Australia, and it's kind of an apt time because of these restricted laws and all these rules that have come in, and the people at the protests generally are on the left these days, and they didn't fight against the misinformation bill. They didn't fight against all these other laws. It's only like, oh yeah, we'll fight against it now because something that affects us. But it was mainly the freedom movement on the right. The bulk of them are on the right, who fought against all those earlier draconian measures to shut everyone down and lock everyone down and all these things. And you know, the people, the guy that runs this group today, or not this group, but the guy that runs the PAG, you know, Josh Lees, is on the other side of it all. It was like lockdown to zero. It's like we don't think the government is locking people down harsh enough. We want it completely. We want the whole of New South Wales locked down until there are 0 cases of COVID in the community. That's what we want. It's like, what? Anyway, that's them. And all right, I am going to sign off. And what, fucking hell, 37 minutes. That's a big one. All right, we'll whack it on there, and hopefully it won't get listened to, and I'll catch you later. Bye now.